New at 6:30, we're bringing you in-depth coverage on the cost of a recent controversy involving Providence and its firefighters. And who better to talk to than WPRI.com reporter Dan McGowan. Dan, thank you for being with us. So you've been following this story since the Elorza administration first proposed these platoon changes. But what we're talking today about is a lawyer that was hired at $230 an hour. Is that correct?
That's correct. So remember, the city has a lot of lawyers, and for various reasons all the time, right? They have a big law department, but for special kind of incidents like this, they have to kind of hire outside. And so yes, they hired this guy Tim Cavazza, who's kind of considered the foremost expert on platoon changes. He litigated a big decision in North Kingstown that the state Supreme Court ended up ruling on. And so he kind of came to the city. They reached a deal for $230 an hour to kind of try to figure out how they're going to do it in Providence. The problem is that a lot of people didn't quite know about it, and so now we're kind of getting pushback. The city people weren't quite aware, city council members, things like that.
Yeah, talk about the city council, because they're not so much mad about the money, but more about the timeline of this.
That's exactly right. So it has nothing to do with the money. I think generally people agree $230 an hour. It seems like a lot, but outside law firms, they can do that. What they're concerned about is he was hired on April 20th. Now, that's about a month before Mayor Elorza announced these big platoon changes, but in between that time, the mayor had proposed his budget, never mentioned anything about these platoon changes. And so the city council is saying, wait a minute, you had already hired this guy, you never told us, you never mentioned it, while we were trying to vet a budget. And so that's why the concern is from them.
And when we talk about budget, I mean, how much money is going to be spent on this lawyer?
Yeah, that's the big question. We really don't know. He's made about $26,000 so far, and that's between April and August. But there's no real end in sight for this. We know that they've already implemented the changes, but they still want to know how much are firefighters ultimately going to be paid, things like that. So this could go a long way.
All right, WPRI.com reporter Dan McGowan, thank you so much. And our in-depth coverage continues right now on WPRI.com. Read more about the high-stakes battle between Mayor Elorza and the city's fire union.